and take another exit. So he does. We exit at this exit and cross the highway while it rains. His 91 Chevy Blazer fishtails as he returns to the opposite ramp. We're stopping it off the interstate into a fence at 50 to 60 mph because he hits the gas instead of the brakes. Then everything slows down for me, and I remember absolute slow motion. I saw the barrier crushed and the automobile going sideways. 3 thoughts entered my skull and have been tattooed there ever since. They never departed. It began with, "You're going to die now." It was your mind saying, "You're going to die now." Second, I wish I could have said goodbye. I remember seeing a real-life flash before your eyes. I saw my parents and best buddy Dave smiling at me. Third, but they will understand. The third one arrived with a ready-made context they could understand. It means they'll comprehend in death, not life. In life, we can't understand death. However, it was understood that they would be with you in a blink. Life is so quick. They're with you. They'll understand in death, but they didn't need to in life. Then I float. Ejected from my body. I'm gone. I've escaped the accident and am floating in the skies. I've attempted to convey my lifelong experience, but it was pleasure. Absolute joy. There was no fear, only serenity and warmth wrapped in a blanket. I'm with this light source now. I always imagined it happening above my head. But it was coming into me, and it was simply letting go, releasing and realizing you were home and didn't hurt anymore. It's hard to describe until you've experienced it. No drug or experience on earth compares to it. While with God, you could see down. I was high up and could see where this had happened, but you didn't need to stay there. And you did. You felt a little awful for the individuals you left behind, but you knew they will be with you soon. It didn't matter much. Life mattered, but mourning wasn't for the living or the dead, and it was just ingrained in me. I sit floating in this warmth. Not once did I notice folks waiting for me. I woke up when this light dispersed away from me and returned to its source. I wake up in this destroyed automobile off the highway, hanging upside down by my seatbelt, with blood and glass in my eyes and severely ripped up. I was shocked to see radiator or windshield washer fluid flowing down in front of me. Who knows how much of the shock is from the crash, but I felt most of it from where I'd been. I really didn't want to return. No feeling of madness, just what am I doing here? The nature of all reality hit me, and I was back, upside down in this destroyed car, and I didn't want to be there. Back where I was my goal. There it was. I recall paramedics taking me from the car. They came in through the damaged rear window and gently got me down and pulled me out of the car. After being hospitalized, my parents took me home, and I'm still in disbelief. I didn't feel anything or know why I was there. My okay friend asked me at the hospital, "It's like you've been through this before." To this day, I shrug when he said it. Nobody told me. My parents thought I was odd. Later, it may have been a concussion, but it was near death. Just where I was. After showering at home, it hit me. Like the movies, I fell to my knees, buckled, and cried in the shower as a 17-year-old. Many think the narrative ends there, but I found the next day equally odd. The next morning, I felt electrical energy flowing through my body. It remains so today. Many individuals say a near-death experience answers life questions, and it does in many ways. I had no worries. I'm curious how much happens in the brain and deep subconscious between letting go of your body and crossing over. The mind is miraculous, and we get too caught up in the thought that death is outside our body, while the mind is God's creation within our body and can cure. Because of the placebo effect, which is almost as effective as the medicine half the time, we dismiss the mind. Just a side note, I suppose people have various experiences because of that. Some people have awful near-death experiences where they travel to hell, and I think it's due to their upbringing and phobias. But mine was blissful and beautiful, without death fear. But it didn't imply I knew everything thereafter. My body was full of insane energy. I had an instant Kundalini awakening through yogi practice and profound meditation. However, some individuals have it during a near-death experience. It took me 20 years to learn this. My body was full of energy, and I was a freak. I abandoned my life, community, and headed west, ultimately hitting rock bottom over the next decade. I felt everything constantly. I could sense people's thoughts and emotions. A gloomy person can drain your life, whereas an exuberant person can blast your vitality and be bright. About 15 years later, I had this. On a mountaintop, I had a spiritual awakening. Just now, I saw the identical entity from my near-death experience years earlier. It felt like the same thing. It was God, your guardian angel, or anything. After that day, I was able to rise above these depths through meditation and other techniques and become reborn. Very linked to God, the mind, and mankind, and the logic I always knew was there. I came back with these ideas after my near-death experience. It was the belief that we're here to build consciousness, have free will, and choose good or evil. Smarter brains know you're here to build humanity from ape-like beasts, so there was a sense that we came here often to fix what we did wrong. I believe it's a simulation theory, but it shouldn't diminish its significance because it's the universe's simulation. Evolution simulation energy builds anything here. It's almost like a practice to test what positive energy can achieve against Earth's poor energy. There was always a sense that this is a tough place to be, grow, and discover truth, and the universe's energy helps us overcome and attain enlightenment from an ape-like existence. When I was floating in the sky, I had this feeling that you never need to be terrified, but you do need to live. You must struggle to stand on your own in life. Our obsession with society, its ups and downs, the media's biases, consumerism, materialism, and all that is pointless. It's in your way, so block it out. You must avoid harmful media, violence, and refrain for your actual objective. I stopped drinking and lived a clean lifestyle, and those moments allowed your spirit to connect more, evolve, find new truths, and perceive your life for what it is, and help others. Do whatever you can to aid others, including volunteering in your community. We have an epidemic of despair and anxiety because we're assaulted with crap daily. Now, more than ever, you must cut these things out of your life and focus on what matters: yourself, your family, and your community, and help